What is going on, people? Today I'll be reacting to another Abba Preach video, and this is about a trans woman in MMA. And before I start the video, I just want to make it clear that I do think there are valid concerns and questions regarding the ethics of trans women performing in female sports. With that being said, I also understand that people use those valid concerns to throw dirt on, discriminate against, and mock trans people. That's not something I am trying to do with this video. I despise people who look down at the trans community or LGBTQ people for who they are and how they identify, because at the end of the day, we are all people and we all deserve dignity and respect. So I just wanted to draw those lines so as to filter out people that might get the wrong impression and might become a fan of the channel because they think I agree with their anti-trans views. I don't. And you people are despicable. So let's hop into the video.
Today's topic, Anna McLaughlin. All right, so if you guys been aware, Anna McLaughlin is a trans MMA fighter. Pre-transition Anna was a soldier with the U.S. Special Forces. She trained Anna was.
When you have that kind of bone density and muscle, like the bone density and muscular physique or structure that Anna possessed when she was a man, even if you go through with the surgery to change your gender from man to woman, there's research that indicates and even if you take estrogen, there's research to indicate that the strength and power that you had before the surgery still carry that strength and even the stamina. So in terms of whether or not trans women should be able to compete in female sports, I think it's a touchy topic, especially when it comes to combat sports, where there is a risk of someone getting severely hurt. With that being said, I also think that the attention that is placed on trans women who compete in female sports is overstated and over publicized, which is to say there aren't a lot of them, let alone trans women competing in female combat sports. So it begs the question, why does the media place a disproportionate amount of attention on that if it's not really that much of a story? Sure, it should be reported on, and we should, talk about, like, all right, what do we do as a society? Because this is a relatively new phenomenon. With that being said, let me continue to play the video.
Was a soldier with the U.S. Special Forces. She trained in mixed martial arts. Recently, she competed after going through transition surgery for some time. She competed against a female named Céline Provost. Céline Provost, c'est québécois. By submission after a little over 3 minutes in Miami last week, and after a victory, she donned a t-shirt which said, "End trans genocide." Posted a little photo saying, "Good morning, friends, supporters, and others. I'm getting a lot of variations of the same nasty messages calling me a cheater, like I didn't just get beat on for a round and a half. Y'all need to show Céline Provost some respect and take your concerns and trolling elsewhere." Oh my God.
I think I see both sides. Yeah, I could only imagine the nasty messages people sent to her and the things that they said about her identity, not about her competing in the sport, but about her identity. And I would never wish that kind of harassment, because people online could be nasty and hateful. With that being said, the criticisms about fairness as they currently stand, I do think they are scientifically justified. We should be asking questions. With that being said, I don't think we should be using sport as a cudgel for anti-trans hate. because that's wrong.
Y'all need to show sit-in provo some respect and take your concerns and trolling elsewhere.
And for those of y'all who are going to come at me in the comments, it's called nuance. You stupid motherfucker, you. It's called nuance. Oh, and why are you taking her side? Why are you taking the trans woman? It ain't about that. It's about respect and dignity. You have respect and dignity for people. And then when it comes to the actions, you look at the actions and you're like, all right, well, let's judge the actions on their merit. But the people, I don't blame her for wanting to be a, you know?
Okay. Did you hear about the story?
Yeah.
What did you think when you first saw it?
Next, we've been over this.
Right.
But there's nothing new that I'm going to be able to say about that. There's nothing new I'm going to be able to add to this. Nothing. Nothing I haven't said. Nothing new. It's going to be the same thing over and over.
And you're going to piss people off either way.
So I didn't really look into it, to be honest with you. What I wanted to know was the outcome of the fight. I knew the outcome of the fight, and I went.
Yeah. You're right.
I went next.
You got the right take. At the end of the day, you know, we're not going to bring up the bone density, the research, all this stuff. We're not going to bring up the unfair advantages because you guys have heard it. We all know it. Okay, so at this point, we're beyond that. All right, at some point, things get redundant and you just start repeating things for clicks and views. So we're not going to do that. My stance at this point is ladies got to take up this mantle and do the fighting for it. Ladies got to be the ones who say something, you know, because it coming from two heteronormative straight men, blah blah blah, it's gonna come always across a lot funnier. Ladies got to be the ones to fight for their own things. They got to input those boycotts. They got to say we're not going to accept
boycotts.
If they really
Preach you bad.
They feel strongly about this, and if they don't, then listen, let the trans women come in and wreck the sports. I don't really. It's not my place to do it. At the end of the day, you guys have most to lose, so it should be
his stance. Is kind of passive aggressive coming from Abba. His stance is that they are going to wreck the sport, you know, the sports. We got to talk about it. We got to ask questions. With that said, we got to do it without dogging somebody out because of their identity.
You guys speaking about this more than anybody.
Oh, interesting.
Go ahead.
No, because a couple of videos ago, I said exactly that. He said I was trolling. I said exactly that. It's like, you're trolling. I'm like, no, bro. What do you want us to do? It's going in that direction. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we never had a spot in this conversation.
I don't agree with that. That it's going to, and there's going to be this massive influx of people changing their gender identities, and I think that's hysteria. And I think that comes from, I don't know where it comes from, but the assumption that, you know, men are going to use sport or bathrooms for that matter as a loophole to take advantage of, when, you know, if a guy is going to beat on a woman, he's going to beat on a woman. If he's going to, you know, go into a bathroom and violate, he's going to do that. It's not right. But the idea that people change their genders specific just to do that, that's not true either.
It was not us to have that conversation, so why would we? You're gonna bust your balls and then get shitted on for something. That's exactly that.
Well, I mean, listen, there's two sides of the conversation. There's what you said, and then there's the other side, which is, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be women whose lives are going to be in danger as a result of this happening.
I understand, but it's not my place to say, because I never had a fucking place to say, and it's already been said. It's already said.
Here's the counter argument to that.
Go ahead.
Let's say it's your daughter, your sister, they're competing in MMA. They say no, they don't accept having to fight a trans person. The commission says, well, these are the rules in place. Don't you think you should be adding your voice to your daughters or sisters?
I can only talk to my daughter.
I think it's everybody's job to fight for, you know, people who are being exploited or taken advantage of or done an injustice to, which is why I think it's everybody's job to, you know, speak up for the LGBTQ people when the time is right, and the time is always right because they're always being dogged out. And I agree when it comes to women in sport and what they think about, you know, but I don't agree with their underlying premise, which is that, you know, this is some ominous thing that is happening and guys are just going into female sports at all time and they're just ruining the sports. Like, there's this person, and then there was Fallon Fox and maybe one or two other people. And there are tens of thousands of MMA fighters in the US. I do think it's being overblown, and it comes from a place of, you know, transphobia.
Why can't you talk publicly?
I'm not saying Abba and Preach are. I'm saying that's where I think a lot of the fears come from. That these people are new. Oh my goodness, they're new. Like, they're You know what I'm saying?
Because it doesn't. I don't know how me saying something, whether I'm the father or a man or the boyfriend's gonna add anything to this. Because I'm gonna say the same thing.
Right.
And you know what? Actually. And I'm not saying that because I don't have a daughter. I'm just saying that because that's why I understand the world works. Nobody's gonna give a shit until my daughter dies. And even when she is, because she got beat up in that MMA fight, whatever, people are gonna move on. That's what happens. That's what keeps on happening. Are the rules changing? No, because we want to do the righteous thing. So nobody cares.
But what I think is interesting though, and here's where I will critique Abba and Preach. I wonder how many videos they put out on steroid abuse, because folks tend to, you know, or you would hope that like folks keep the same energy when it comes to, so people make the same argument when it comes to steroids in sport and combat sports. Like, yo, you beat that guy when you were on steroid. Like, they're not gonna change until. So I wonder if they feel the same way about steroids.
About
they
me
probably
or
do.
my potential daughter that's gonna do MMA. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
So shouldn't you be fighting regardless?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't know what proof I have. So I can only
are they as vocal when it comes to steroid use in sports?
I have just that much energy. So I'm just gonna concentrate on my daughter. I'm just gonna be concentrating on, you know what? There's this and that, and I'm gonna give all my energy to my daughter. Not all the rest of the people. At the end of the day, my daughter, if she competes in MMA, she's a grown adult too, and she's gonna be able to make her decision. I can implore, you have parents that implore you to not do anything, not do this, not do that. What'd you do? You go and you do your own experience and you break your face. So yeah.
Yeah, listen, my issue personally is that I just don't care enough about this issue, to be honest with you.
I don't, is it you don't care? I don't think it's enough of an issue yet to be like overblown, man. I understand the concerns, like I said, scientific, I think they are valid concerns and things to debate and talk about and reason with.
I think it's a fun talking point. I think it's an interesting thing. I do think it's unfair, but I don't really care. I don't. If I'm being very honest, I don't. I like watching women's MMA if it's on a good UFC card. I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Shout out to Thug Rose. Do I really care? Not really. Be honest. And so that's probably why I won't cover this topic again in the future, because I don't care that deeply.
It's not gonna change anything, bro.
I mean, listen, most of the videos we do don't change anything.
Fair.
So I don't think that's a precursor to whether or not you should talk about something.
But it's just,
my indifference, you know what it really comes from? It's not that we can't do anything, or it's just, I don't care enough. That's the truth. So maybe I'm fucked up, and maybe you guys are disappointed by that. Maybe you guys wanted me to voice whatever outrage. But the truth is, after you cover this 4 or 5 times and use the same bullshit arguments, and people don't call them on it enough, or maybe they do, they just don't care. At some point, I'm like, well, listen, the information's out there. If they want to believe it, they do, and they don't, they don't. And I'm going to just not yell at anybody.
Yeah,
no.
and I do think it's up to the commissions to care even more than we do. Commissions, scientists, and the people involved in the fighting.
When you get upset, I'm like,
mm-hmm.
I can't.
It's like whenever it's like,
let
you know, whenever you're exposed to something enough, you don't care.
Yeah.
The first school shooting,
Yeah.
I was borderline traumatized. I was like, oh snap!
Yeah, I get you on that.
When Columbine happened, bruh, I was like, woo! Polytechnic happened. I was like 7.
Right.
I was like, whoa!
Right.
But then
After a while. I get you, man.
But that's not a fair parallel to draw. But I see his point.
So you ask us about this topic?
Potatoes.
All right, there you go. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, see y'all next time. Peace.